दस बीस उद्धव मन नाभ दस बीस एक हो तो सो गयो श्याम संग एक हो तो सो गयो श्याम संग आराधयेस उद्धव मन नाभ दस बीस उद्धव मन नाभ दस बीस एक हो तो सो गयो श्याम संग एक हो तो सो गयो श्याम संग को आराधयेस उद्धव मन नाभ दस बीस इंद्र शिथिल भये के सब बीनु इंद्र शिथिल भये के सब बीनु यथा देहि विनाशिष यथा देहि विनाशिष आशा लागे रहित तनु संग जीव ही कटे बरीस उद्धव मन नाभ दस बीस उद्धव मन नाभ दस बीस तुम तो सखा श्याम सुंदर के तुम तो सखा श्याम सुंदर के सकल जोग के सुर हमारे नंद नंद जगदीश उद्धव मन नाभ दस बीस एक हो तो सो गयो श्याम संग एक हो तो सो गयो श्याम संग को आराधयेस उद्धव मन नाभ दस बीस इंद्र शिथिल भये के सब बीनु इंद्र शिथिल भये के सब बीनु यथा देहि विनाशिष यथा देहि विनाशिष आशा लागे रहित तनु संग जीव ही कोटि बरीस उद्धव मन नाभ दस बीस उद्धव मन नाभ दस बीस एक हूँ तो सो गयो श्याम संग, एक हूँ तो सो गयो श्याम संग, को आराधये स उद्धव मन ना भय दस बीस, उद्धव मन ना भय दस बीस.
Very nice. Let us begin with a Shanti mantra from the Upanishads. Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunayama Devaha Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraha Sthirairangaistuštuvagam Sastanubhihi Yashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vriddhashravaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti nastarksho arishtanemihi Swasti no brahaspatir dadatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. May we hear only auspicious sounds with our ears, with our eyes. May we see only auspicious signs. With all the sense organs of perception, jnanendriyas, may we perceive only what is auspicious. May we perceive the divine presence in all and everything. And with all our sense organs of action, karmendriyas, may we perform all actions as the worship of the divine. In this way, with a strong body, with fit sense organs, and a pure mind, may we spend the rest of this lifespan granted to us by the Lord in such a way that we please Him, worship Him through all our actions, thoughts, and speech. Om peace. May there be peace and joy in our hearts. May there be peace and harmony amongst all beings. And may there be peace everywhere in nature. Let us try to study the teachings of Ashtavakra. Ashtavakra, as you know, was a born Brahmajnani. Even when he was in the mother's womb, he was a Brahmajnani, he was aware of it. His father's name was Kahora. He was a scholar, Vedic scholar, and he used to chant Vedic mantras every day. And when he was chanting Vedic mantras, he sometimes used to make some mistakes. And the baby in the mother's womb, Ashtavakra, not yet born, he noticed his father's making mistakes. And from within the womb, he called out to the father, "Father, you are making so many mistakes in your chanting." Father became very angry. "You're not even born, you're trying to correct me." So the father became angry and cursed the baby, unborn baby, may be born with deformities in your body, 8 deformities, Ashtavakra. So the baby was born, in the body was deformed in 8 places. So he was called Ashtavakra. But he was a Brahmajnani from birth, Nitya Siddha. So the boy was growing up, and Kahora, father, he needed some money, and he went to the king. Janaka was the king. Janaka is a Brahmagyani, also a king. He was ruling the whole kingdom with total detachment. And so Kahora, Ashtavakra's father, goes to the king, asks for some money. And the king, Janaka, he was hosting a visiting great Vedantic scholar one day. So Janaka asked this Kahora, Ashtavakra's father, to debate with him. This was the custom those days. Vedantic scholars used to debate with each other. Vakyartha. So in the debate, Kahora was defeated. Bandin, the visiting scholar, he won. So Janaka became unhappy with this Kahora. So he banished him from his kingdom. Ashtavakra grew up. Mother was there. Mother's name was Sujata. So when the boy grew up, 7 or 8 years old, he understood why my father is not here. Then he was told that the king banished him. Janaka banished him because his father was defeated in a Vedantic debate with the visiting scholar Vandin. So Ashtavakra, the young boy, he goes to the king's palace. He was not allowed inside because the little boy, but he impressed his king's authorities of his scholarship, and they were impressed and they let him in. And Janaka sees him, and Ashtavakra engages Vandin in a debate and defeats him. Janaka was very pleased. So Janaka, Ashtavakra, they became friends. Janaka was the disciple of Ashtavakra. The Ashtavakra, young boy. Their conversation is what is recorded in this book, Ashtavakra Samhita. Conversation between Janaka and Ashtavakra. It's Ashtavakra Samhita. This is translated to English by Swami Nityaswarupananda ji. And this book has 20 chapters, 298 slokas. Very nice. This book is not a beginner's level Vedanta book. It is an advanced treatise used for Nijidhyasana, meditation. Not even for Shravana, for beginning level understanding of Vedanta, we should study simpler books. This is advanced. And this book, Sri Ramakrishna wanted Swamiji to read Naren. Naren, as you know, came from the Brahma Samaj background. And he did not readily accept the Vedanta teaching. This is pure Advaita Vedanta. There's no compromise there. What the Upanishad says, the Ashtavakra Samhita says. Truth. And then Naren was hesitant, coming from Brahma Samaj background. They're worshipping God without form. But Sri Ramakrishna asked Naren to read this book out to him. He said, if not for you, at least to me, read it out, some parts of it. So Sri Ramakrishna asked Naren to read out. Naren read parts of this. He didn't like it. It was all Advaita Vedanta. But Sri Ramakrishna, no, at least for my sake, you keep reading. So I made him read that one. Then as he started reading, Swamiji became interested in Advaita Vedanta. So only to Naren, Sri Ramakrishna asked this, suggested that he should read the book. For other disciples, he did not recommend this book. So in this Ashtavakra Samhita, it's conversation between Ashtavakra Brahmagyani and Janaka, king Brahmagyani also. The conversation begins with a question from Janaka in the first chapter. Here in the first chapter, let's see, sloka number 1. That is the Janaka's question. The big book begins with a question from Janaka, addressed to Ashtavakra. The question is this one. Sloka number 1 in chapter 1. The Janaka asks, Katam jnanamavapnoti, katam muktir bhavishyati, vairagyam cha katham praptam, etad bruhi mama prabho. Janaka asks 3 questions in one shloka. He asks, Katham jnanam avapnoti. How does a person acquire jnanam? One question. Second question was, Katham muktir bhavishyati. Mukti means liberation. Liberation from all sufferings and limitations, liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Moksha. How does one achieve liberation? Second question. Third question was, Vairagyam cha katham praptam. Vairagyam is renunciation. How to achieve Vairagyam? Katham Vairagyam praptam. Third question. Etad bruhi mama prabho. Oh, revered Ashtavakra, Janaka says, please explain this to me. 3 questions. Now let us understand Janaka's question. Katham jnanam avapnoti. How does one achieve jnanam? Jnanam means knowledge that you know. But Janaka was not asking about ordinary knowledge. As we know from our earlier studies, as you know, knowledge is of 2 main kinds. Paravidya, aparavidya, that you are familiar with that one. Aparavidya is knowledge of the world. All the sciences and technology, social sciences, humanities, even study of Vedas and scriptures, they all come under the umbrella of aparavidya. Aparavidya is knowledge of the outside world. In chemistry, we study the properties of substances, compounds, elements, physics, nature, biology, plants and animals, zoology. This all we know. All of this is aparavidya. That was not what Janaka was asking. When Janaka asked Ashtavakra, Katham jnanam avapnoti, he meant paravidya. What is paravidya? Paravidya is knowledge of, para means supreme knowledge. Supreme knowledge. What is supreme paravidya? It is defined in this way in the Upanishad. Para yaya tadaksharam adhigamyate. Paravidya sa yaya, by which tadaksharam, that imperishable Brahman, adhigamyate, is experienced. Brahmajnanam, knowledge of Brahman or knowledge of self, Atmajnanam. That is Paravidya. How to achieve that one? That was Janaka's first question. Why we should achieve Paravidya? Why not we be satisfied with Aparavidya? So many branches are there to study whole lifetime. We can't finish even one branch. So why worry about Paravidya? Because the aparavidya only gives us worldly happiness to some extent. Supposing somebody has a very high degree, PhD in mathematics or physics or biology or social sciences, humanities, whatever, that knowledge is good, necessary. It has to be known. Devidya, veditavya. Both paravidya, aparavidya have to be known, necessary, but it is of limited use. Why? Because aparavidya helps us to gain a livelihood, use a profession, very interesting to pursue research in science and everything, but it is limited in one way because our knowledge of aparavidya cannot be complete. No matter how hard we study, we can't know everything about the universe. Only small branch, 1,000 part of 1% only we can know about the universe. Second thing is object of knowledge itself is changing. The object of knowledge, the nature, animals and plants and nature is not constant. And our understanding is changing also. Today we know this to be the truth, and next day some new discovery comes, and this old information becomes obsolete and new information comes. This is nature of aparavidya is not constant. Aparavidya is not constant. It changes depending upon our understanding. As new truth information is being revealed, we know more and more about the universe. For example, in the earlier days, people thought Earth was flat. That's what we see. We don't see any globe here. We only see wherever you so it's all flat Earth. That was people thought like that. But then they discovered no, Earth is not flat, it is round, it is revolving also. See how revision comes. As new discoveries happen in science, our knowledge of the world also becomes revised. We gain new insights. Thus, aparavidya is not constant. And what happens, one more problem with aparavidya is, it's acquired through the mind. It's mental. Through the mind, sense organs, knowledge of the world is gained. And mind loses its limited ability. It loses its ability to know things and remember things with old age. No matter how knowledgeable a person is, when old age comes, that knowledge slowly is forgotten. Once you retire from service, then you don't remember. And memory also fails and its function is over. Unlike that, paravidya is that which reveals the nature of true self, who we are. Padadaksharamadigamyate, imperishable Brahman. Vedanta says you are that, Tattamasi. It's not an object outside of us. In aparavidya, we study outside objects. We don't study the nature of the self. Even in psychology, we study the mind, which according to Vedanta is also an outside object. And medical sciences study the body and its functioning, thickness, how to treat medical. All very useful, but limited, because all this knowledge is forgotten when we become old, when we die. This and with this life, the aparavidya ends. Supposing somebody has a bachelor's degree or a master's degree in this life, and that person dies. Next life, when the person is born, he cannot go and ask for admission to master's degree. In my last life, I did BA, now give me admission to MS. No, it won't. We have to start from ABCD 1, 2, 3, 4. Aparavidya ends with this life. But paravidya is not like that. Once you gain it, it's permanent. You not gain knowledge of the self, which is Atman, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma, that we relay our true nature, and we give up all ignorance for all time to come. All ignorance goes away permanently. Ignorance means that I'm the body and the mind, and this world is real, pain and pleasure. This is all our ignorance. We don't know our true nature. The truth is we are that even now. We always been that. We can never been anything else. Our true nature is not something that begins or ends. If you are not that now intrinsically, and if you become that by doing something, that knowledge will not be permanent. Lost. Whatever comes has to go also. Whatever has a beginning has an end also. Paravidya is not like that. It is our true nature. Inherently we are that. We always been that. We'll never be that. We'll never anything else. But that ignorance that we are the body mind has to be removed. All that we know how to do is to remove the ignorance, not to gain knowledge. Knowledge is not to be gained. It is there inherently. So that is the kind of knowledge that Janaka was asking. Katam jnanam avapnoti. How to gain that kind of paravidya? That was Janaka's question. What does it do? Paravidya, what does it confer? What's the benefit? Liberation, freedom, forever, permanent freedom from all suffering, limitation, from old age, birth and death, and then jara, dukkha, all those sufferings we don't have to dwell on. We are familiar with that one. Permanent end to all of that one. No rebirth. Freedom from the cycle of birth and death. Liberation. That is the benefit of Paravidya. How to gain that one? Katam jnanam avapnoti. First question. Second question was, Vairagyam cha katam praptam. How to gain renunciation? Why we should practice renunciation? The word renunciation is confusing, sometimes frightening also. Do we have to give up everything, family, job, children, and go away to the forest to practice renunciation? That is not the meaning of renunciation. Itself a big subject. Renunciation means giving up attachment to all objects, including the body and the mind. Attachment is mental. Physically, we can't give up. Body, mind, and sense objects, we have to have. But giving up attachment to these things, thinking that they are permanent, thinking that they will bring happiness, that is ignorance, and that has to be given up. For that, you have to practice detachment. Why we should give up attachment to all these things? Because attachment brings suffering. That you know from the study of the Gita. If you are attached to something, that attachment means hoping that it will bring happiness if I have it. Then we acquire that one. When you acquire that one, for some time you enjoy everything. Money, property, family, children, grandchildren, body, youth, beauty, strength, all this, position, power. For some time. Then what happens? Gradually it will leave. Those things will be there, I have to leave. Or they will be there, and or I will be there and they will leave. Either they will leave one by one or all of them will go in one moment. In one moment, everything we have can be lost. Doesn't take much time. Shankaracharya says, Harati nimeshat kalas sarvam ma kuru dhana dhana yavvana garvam harati nimeshat kalas sarvam. In the nimesha means in the twinkling of an eye, things can go. Or they can go slowly, painfully, one by one. They go, they will. Not permanent. So attachment to think that they will be with me always, they will bring me happiness, that has to be given up. That is true Vairagya. And in the Viveka Chodamani, many of you have studied that one. Shankaracharya defines Vairagya is Iha Amutra Phalabhoga Viragaha. Phala means the fruit of our actions, karma phala. Bhoga means enjoyment. Viraga means giving up that hope. I am doing this work and this will bring me happiness. That is attachment. That is desire for enjoyment from outside sense objects. They cannot give us permanent happiness. Sometimes they appear to give. You will come to that later. So what is Vairagya? Katham, how to achieve Vairagya? Detachment from sense organ. That was Janaka's second question. Janaka's third question was, third question, Vairagya. I went to the third question. The second question was, Katham muktir bhavishyati. Mukti means liberation. Liberation from what? Being liberated from what? From all suffering. How to achieve freedom from all suffering, not temporarily, permanently. Only freedom from suffering is temporary. You do something, you get rid of some problem, you are happy for some time, and then a new problem comes. That kind of freedom from suffering is not good. Total freedom, permanent freedom from all suffering. That is mukti. How to get that one? How to get liberation from this cycle of birth and death? What is to be done? That was Janaka's second question. Third question was, Katham Vairagyam cha katham praptam. So these three questions were asked by Janaka in one shloka. The rest of the chapter is all answer to these three questions. So let us go to the second shloka, where the answer begins. Ashtavakra's answer begins This sloka number 2 to the 3 questions raised by Janaka in sloka number 1. The second sloka, Ashtavakra Uvacha. Muktimichasi chetata vishayan vishavatyaja kshama arjava daya tosha satyam piyushavad bhaja. In one sloka, 2 lines, Ashtavakra gives 6 instructions, very compact, not much explanation. Only the briefest way to explain answer to Janaka's question was in one sloka. 6 things. Out of these 6 things that Ashtavakra says, first one is of a negative type, giving up something. First instruction was Vishayan Vishavatyaja. Vishaya means all sense objects. Everything is that we know is a sense object. Anything that I know, that I can see with my eyes, that I can hear with my ears, touch with my hand, anything that is the object of any of the 5 senses, and anything that can think about, even my mind, even if it is not a tangible physical object, if I can think about something, that's also an object, is a Vishaya. So here in the first instruction, Ashtavakra says, Vishayan Tyaja, give up all sense objects. Literally, it is impossible. Because body itself is a sense object. How can you give up the body? That's not practical. And yet, food is sense object. How can I stop eating food? Water is a sense object. How can I stop drinking water? Air is a sense object. How can I stop breathing? So it's not to be taken literal sense. What is to be understood is attachment to sense objects must be given up. So we'll understand how to practice that one. How to practice detachment from all sense objects. Why we should do this one? Ashtavakra says the reason why you have to give this one. Mukti michasi chet. Question, Janaka's question was how to achieve mukti. Katam mukti mavapnoti. So if you want to achieve mukti, liberation, mukti michasi chet, Ashtavakra says to Janaka, if you want liberation, first thing we have to do is to give up all sense objects. Vishayan, how to give up? As if they were poison, Vishavat. Nobody wants poison, they stay away from that one. So like that one, stay away from all sense objects. Ashtavakra says, Vishayan, Vishavat, Tyaja. That we'll understand. Then the second line has 5 more instructions. All just mentioned, but no explanation there. Kshama, Arjava, Daya, Tosha, Satyam, Piyushavad. Piyusha means nectar, Amritam. Amritam we want because it gives immortality. Visha we don't want, it kills. Vishyavan, Vishavatyaja, and these other 5 things, Kshama, Arjava, Daya, Tosha, Satyam, Bhaja, resort to them, practice them, as if they were ambrosia, nectar. So first instruction is the one that is really difficult to practice. How to give up sense objects. Literally not possible because everything in the mind is a sense object. How to give the mind, how to give the body, food is sense object. So what is meant is giving up attachment to sense objects. Why we are attached to sense objects? Because we think that sense objects will bring happiness. Beginning with the body. If the body is in good condition, youthful, in good health, sense organs are in good condition, mind is in good condition, then I can enjoy sense objects, I can enjoy food, I can enjoy good music, I can enjoy sense of touch, nice things to touch, sparsha. All these pleasures will come through sense organs, sense objects. So we expect to get pleasure from sense objects. So we become attached to them. And they do. It seems like that they give, bring happiness. Otherwise, billions of people would not be seeking sense objects. They do bring to some extent happiness. Sense objects will bring happiness. But that kind of happiness that comes from sense objects is some serious disadvantages. That kind of happiness which comes from sense objects, contact of sense organ and sense object, it is called Vishaya Sukha, Vishayananda or Vishaya Sukha. Vishaya means sense object. How does it get? How do we get Sukha ordinarily? Contact between one or more sense organs and one or more sense objects. That's what we interpret as Sukha or Dukkha also. Same. This interesting thing is the same thing that brings me happiness, which when I hold it makes me happy today, that contact, sense organ, sense object. But this, after some time, what happens, the same thing that once gave me happiness begins to give me unhappiness, causes me a lot of pain. How this happens? Because that's the nature of contact, sense organ, sense object. This explained in the Gita, in the second chapter. In the second chapter, there is a shloka number 14. What does it say? Matra sprashasta kaunteya sheta ushna sukha dukkhada agama apayinaha anityaha tam stitikshasya bharata. The contact between one or more sense organ, eyes, hands, ears, nose, smell, taste, tongue, all these things, sense organs, contacting one or more sense objects, the sparsha is construed by the mind sometimes as happiness, sukha, sometimes same contact, same sense organ, same sense object is construed by the mind as dukkha. There's nothing fixed about it. Shita, Ushna, heat and cold, sukha, dukkha, pain and pleasure. How this is possible? Easy. You take the example of relationships. Even food also. Sometimes when you are young and healthy, good health, we enjoy sweets, all kinds of sweets. We can eat as much as we want. We can digest, no problem. That sweets bring happiness. But when we become old and health problems begin, the sweet become prohibited. We can't, doctors say don't take any sugar problem. The same sweet that brought happiness, if you take later in old age, disease comes, it becomes poison. You cannot touch it. This more vividly can be understood, the variable nature of sense organ, sense object contact, how undependable it is, how the same thing can bring unhappiness, pain, can be understood clearly in case of relationships. We find more happiness in relationships. That means relationship with another person. That's where maximum enjoyment is, people seek. So what happens? In the beginning, all very nice and happy, so much excitement, person falls in love, young people fall in love, the whole 24 hours, they are only thinking about that one. Even when they are at work, they are thinking about the beloved. So nice even to think about the beloved, good feeling. When people fall in love, and they enjoy for some time relationship, they get together, they get married. After some time, what happens? Not always, many times, the relationship goes back. I love you, no longer there. They start fighting with each other. They went to court to get married together. They go to court, now seek separation. I don't want you in my life. So what happened? Same two people. This person same, that person same. There's the undependable nature. The mind plays the trick. Same contact, same sense organ, same sense object. At one time, that contact, the mind thinks very happy. Oh, I like this person. I want to be with that person. The same mind, same sense organ, same person, same other person. Later, the same contact brings so much pain and happiness. We seek separation. Then the thing fixed up. That's the nature of sensory pleasure. All pleasure, happiness that comes from sense objects is of this undependable nature. And they come and go. When we came, we didn't bring anything or anybody. When we go, we don't take anything or anybody. In between, they all come. Money comes, position comes, power comes, youth, beauty, health, good health comes. Then we enjoy the world, everything, happiness, food, vacation, family, everything, power. Then gradually they leave one by one. In the end, nothing. And everything leaves, only pain, suffering, only regrets. Oh, it was such a nice time and I could enjoy those. Now I can't enjoy anything. That kind of regret feeling. All this is nicely explained. The reason why we have to give up attachment to sense objects, not expect them to give continued unconditional happiness. But the reason why we should not expect the things to give us happiness, whatever it be, another person or money or body or whatever, is explained nicely in one sloka in the Gita. Which one is it? Chapter 5, sloka number 22. There the Lord says in 2 lines, why we should not depend upon, become attached to sense objects. Ashtavakra says, give up sense objects, at least attachment to sense objects. Why? Because there the Lord Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, the temporary, undependable nature of happiness coming from sense objects. 522. Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkhayo naya evate adyantavantah kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. Buddha means a buddhiman, wise person, a thinking person. Such a person, teshu naramate, in sense of the pleasure coming from sense objects, he does not take any delight. If they are there, he does not shun them. If the things are there, if family is there, good, children are there, good, job is there, good, money is there, good, house is there, good, we enjoy, keep them, but we don't become attached. When they leave, be ready for the separation. The separation will definitely come. So that's why we shouldn't become attached to sense object. If they're there, be thankful, enjoy them. Sri Ramakrishna says, live with all, with your family, with parents, children, husband, wife. Do your duty by them, serve them, and know that they are not yours. Because one day they will leave. They will all be there, I have to leave. Or I will be there one by one, or all of them together, they will leave. Separation is bound to come. This is what Sri Krishna said in the Gita, in the 522. There he says, Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkhayo naya evate adyantavantah kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. Samsparshaja bhoga means enjoyment. Coming from sparsha means contact. Between sense organ, one or more. Mind is also a sense organ. Sense object, one or more. The sense object can be another person, can be a job, can be money, property, house, car, position, body, youth, everything sense object. That contact, happiness coming from that contact, samsparshaja bhoga. Why Ashtavakra says give up? He says, why does he give up sense objects, sense of Vishya? Why we should give up? Ashtavakra says, reason is given in the Gita. Or this sukha coming from contact between sense organ and sense object is adyantavantaha, a beginning and an end. When we came, we didn't bring any sense object. When we leave, we don't take any sense object. In between, they came. In between, money came, youth came, family came, husband, wife came, children came, job, money, property, everything came, car, and they stay with me for some time, and separation will come. They will be there, I have to leave, or they will leave one by one or all together. Adyantavantaha. One reason why we should not become attached to sense objects. Second reason is dukkha yonaya evate. Yoni means cause of dukkha. They all cause only dukkha at the end. When they come, everything is happy and nice, welcome, enjoyment, and they give us happiness for some time. Then when they leave, separation has to happen inevitably. I can't take anything with me when I leave. I'll have to leave everything behind, or they will leave me even when I am there. When that separation comes, dukkha, oh, it was so nice. Bereavement causes a lot of dukkha. loss of job, when job you're employed, new position, power, you happy. When you're let go, pink slip they call, then you have to look for another job, unhappiness. It can happen suddenly, it can happen slowly. Things may leave us one by one, or all of them can live together in one moment. Two examples I will give. These are very unpleasant examples. They actually happened, true story. I had a friend, colleague in India before we came here. Then we came here and he went studied his PhD, got a job, engineer, nice, very intelligent one, got married, wife, very nice wife, 2 children, 2 boys, good job. And the daily practice was, why I'm saying this is, in a moment everything can go away, or they can go one by one slowly, or they will be there, I have to live. One way or other, separation comes. Adyantavanta. That's why I'm giving this example. Wife used to drive with the husband, 2 boys in the morning after breakfast, leave the husband at the office gate, take the boys to school, leave them there, go back home, pick them up in the evening, a daily routine. One morning she went, dropped the husband at the gate of the office, and he was walking, and she continued. And when she made a right turn from the factory gate, from the left side, a truck coming, she didn't notice. She turned suddenly. Truck came and hit the car, all the 3 of them. One moment, happy family. Little story. So sad. I was grief-stricken when I heard that one. He was a close friend. Next moment, before even reached the office, nothing. So this is, it doesn't happen to everybody. It's a rare example, but things like that can happen. We don't know. Or they can give slowly one by one. Separation can come. Another example, this man, a PhD engineer, working for a company, every morning goes to work, went to work one day, 8 o'clock, entered the office, 3 people were standing there with empty cardboard boxes. Real example. His immediate boss, his boss, and the HR person. When he entered the office, they told him, your services are terminated, you take your personal belongings, just stood there. We'll give you 15 minutes. Whatever he had, his family photo, whatever he had, put everything, took away his password, took away his ID, couldn't enter the office again. And then gave a phone number, contact this number for your severance pay and benefits. Went to the job daily. One moment he's employed, nice job. Next moment, nothing in the street. He could not even enter the office again because they took away his entrance ID and everything. So in one moment they can give. That is why the teaching of Ashtavakra makes a lot of sense. As long as they are there, family, husband, wife, children, grandchildren, job, money, property, possession, good health, beauty, everything is there, enjoy, but don't become attached to them. Because they can all, eventually everything will go away. They will be there, I have to leave, or I will be there, they will leave one by one or all together. All this wisdom is explained nicely in a very telling way in the Kathopanishad. I'll make it a little digression, but I like this example. In the Kathopanishad, you know the story. I'm not going to tell the story. Yama gives instruction to Nachiketa. Asks questions of Yama. What happens after death? Third question. Young boy, in asking what happens after death, that means is the body everything that goes away, nothing remains, or something remains beyond the body? Is there something in your personality? That was the question. Yama didn't want to answer the question because he's a still young boy, maybe 9-year-old, 10-year-old, Nachiketa. He's asking this profound question. Yama wanted to test, is the boy asking the question to impress me, or is he really interested to know the truth? Second reason is, if he is interested, if I give the answer, is he able to understand, does he have the background to understand the answer to the question that beyond the body there is Atman, If I speak about Atman, so Yama wanted to, he offered me other things as an alternate. He wanted to test. He told Nachiketa, see, you're a young boy. You don't have to worry about death. You'll have to a long time before you can think about death. I'll make you a king. I'll give a large kingdom. As large a kingdom as you want, I'll give you. Yama says to Nachiketa, you can choose how big a kingdom you want. Gomer, Mahadagatanam, Ranishwa, choose how much area you want. And I'll give all the other things, queen, horses and chariots and music and dance and treasury and a long life to enjoy all these things. Take all these things. Don't worry about death. You're still a young. Take all these things. That was Yama's offer. An ordinary person would have taken all those things and gone away happily. King, long life and all these things. Nachiketa was, no, sir. I want answer to my question. Keep all these things yourself. I don't want all these things. The answer Nachiketa gives is so impressive in the Kathopanishad. Nachiketa says to Yama, when all these things are offered, Shobhava Martyasya Yadantakaitat Antaka, oh Yama, all these things that you are offering, Shobhava, today they are there, tomorrow they are not there. Kingdom will go away, queen, horses, elephant, music, dance will go away, they will be there, I can't hear, I can't enjoy, old age will come, body will go away. What good are all these things? Temporary things. Adyantamantaha, as Sri Krishna said. One reason why he does not want them. He says, second reason, Sarvendriyanam jarayanti tejaha. In sense objects like food, other kinds of pleasures, sensory pleasures, how long can you enjoy? A time will come when the sense organs, body loses their ability to enjoy these things. When you are young and youthful and in good health, you can enjoy food and everything, property, you can drive a nice car and everything, money you can enjoy. But when body becomes old, in old age, all these things are that you can't enjoy. Indriyanam tejaha jarayanti, the ability, acuity of sense organs to enjoy sense objects will go away quickly when youth passes and old age comes. Things are there, I can't enjoy. What good are these things? How much insight this boy had, you see. We think they'll be there forever. We don't think that they will end when you enjoy things when youth. Then third thing he says is, Yama promised long life. Api jeevitam sarvam alpameva. No matter how long a life you grant me, Nachiketa says to Yama, one day you will come to me to get me. That life, long life will end also end. You can live for 90 years if you are in good health, or maybe 95, 100 years. Then 100 years old person is only living there, but nothing, can't hear, can't see, cannot eat food. What good is that kind of? Even if you live for long life, one day that will have to end. Apijivitam sarvam alpameva. Then he says one more thing, Nachiketa. So how much wisdom this boy had. He says, Navitena tarpaneyo manushyaha. Vita means money. Or anything that money can buy, property, car, house, everything. No matter how much a person has, money or wealth, that person will not satisfy. Satisfaction will not come. More, if you have a $100,000 income you have, not satisfied because somebody is making 500,000. You get 500,000, you're not satisfied. Somebody is making $2 million a year. If $1 million, you're not satisfied because somebody is $1 billion. If $1 billion, you're not satisfied because somebody is $50 billion. When does it end? Grief, greed has no end. Therefore, I don't want any of these things. I want only self-knowledge. Atmagyan, that's the only thing that is permanent, that reveals my true nature to me. I realize that's the highest thing one can. And the highest thing that a person can get, not money, property, position, power, fame, youth, beauty, they'll all go away sooner or later. Time bound, limited in time. Self-knowledge. That's what I want. That is what Ashtavakra is saying in this whole teaching of Ashtavakra Samhita. It can be summarized in any of the one Mahavakyas. the Upanishads for Mahavakya. One of them is enough to summarize everything that the Advaita Vedanta says. Tattvamasi, you are that, you are not the body mind, you are the Atman. I'm Brahmasmi, I'm not the body mind, I am the Atman. That is what Ashtavakra is saying here. To achieve that self-knowledge, that was Janaka's question, Katam Jnanam Avapnoti. First question. Then the first instruction of 6 instructions was Vishayan Vishavatyaja Mukti Michasi Chet Tata. Tata means a dear Janaka, if you wish liberation, if you want liberation, Vishayan Vishavatyaja, give up attachment to all sense objects. Now question comes, if I give up attachment, that means I can't enjoy good food, I cannot enjoy children, grandchildren, family, I can't enjoy car and property and vacation, this thing, then how can I can be morose, unhappy person? No, you can gain more happiness by second level of happiness. This kind of happiness coming from samsparsha, sense organ, sense object contact is, limited. You know that one. But there is a better kind of happiness. Our teachers have said, Bhajanananda is better than Vishayananda. Bhajanananda means the joy of worship. Bhajana means any kind of worship, need not be only ritualistic worship. Chanting God's name, devotional practices, Kirtan, Bhajan, Sankirtan, all of these things bring happiness. That kind of happiness that you get by chanting God's name or worshipping or serving devotees and children of God, seeing God in them, that is superior to Vishayananda, Vishayasukha. Because for that, you don't need any money or anything. To enjoy sense object, you need money. To buy a big car, you need a lot of money. But to enjoy chanting God's name, you don't need any money. You can do it in any place, anytime. You don't have to be in good health. You don't have to have anything. Anywhere you are sitting, standing there, you can, in any condition, any place, anytime, you can take God's name, and that brings you unlimited joy. Bhajanananda. Pavitra Pavitrava Sarvavastang Gatopiva. Whether you're taken bath or not, you're changed new cloth or not, washed clothes or not, you're lying or sitting down or traveling. Sarvavastang Gato Yasmaret Pundadikaksham. He remembers the Lord, lotus eyed Lord. Sabahya Bhyantarastuti becomes pure in eternal purity, external purity. Mind will become calm and pure. So what Bhajanananda makes is, it does not deplete the sense organs as Vishayasukha does. Can keep on chanting your own, it does not make you weak. You can enjoy chanting as long as you can chant. Then it gives you permanent peace and joy. Sense objects don't give you peace and joy. When they leave, they give a lot of happiness. No, they give a lot of pain. It is not, Bhajanananda does not end. You can enjoy as long as you want, as long as you are there, and does not cost any money, can be done anywhere, anytime, in any condition. That brings greater joy. Not only that, Bhajanananda paves the way, acts as a bridge to higher sukha, Atmananda, self-knowledge or pure devotion. Pure devotion, prema, Shuddha Bhakti, as Sri Ramakrishna says, Raga Bhakti, is considered to be higher than mukti by some people, by devotees. Devotees like Hanuman and Sri Ramakrishna himself, they didn't want liberation. Ordinary person seeks moksha, liberation. No, I don't want liberation, moksha. Sri Ramakrishna said, Brahmagyan, I don't want. Give me devotion. Hanuman said that one. Because for devotees, devotion brings greater joy, is more important than liberation. Liberation means stopping the cycle of birth and death, not being born again. Because if you're born again, you have to go through the same cycle of youth, janma, mrityu, jara, vyadi, kavaram, yavanam, jara, all these things. That will stop liberation. But pure devotion, even if you are born again as many times as needed, will still continue to enjoy unlimited happiness. That brings greater joy than liberation for devotees. So they don't seek liberation. Sri Ramakrishna said to the Divine Mother, this Brahmagyana I don't want. Those who are asking, you can give it to them. But I want to be a little child playing on your life, 5-year-old child. That's serving the Divine Mother as being the child of Divine Mother, worshipping as the mother brings greater joy than liberation, freedom from cycle of birth and death. Same thing about Hanuman. When Sri Ramachandra asked Hanuman if he wants any boon, if to ask for any boon, Hanuman could have asked for liberation. Rama could have granted it. No, Hanuman said, I don't want liberation. He specifically says to Rama, I don't want liberation because liberation will free me from the cycle of birth and death. That's all. And everything I will become Brahmagyani, only Brahman remains. There is no Ram, there is no Rama, there is no Hanuman, there is no devotion, there is no praise. No, that is not good for me. He says, if you grant me liberation, then I will get Brahmagyana. Then only Brahman is there, no Hanuman, no Rama, no devotion. I don't want that one. I want one thing which is higher than liberation. What is it? He says, as long as Rama's name is taken anywhere in this world by anybody, I want to be present there as Hanuman in this body. I want to be there. Why? Because listening to the chanting of your name and glories brings me much greater joy than being liberated Brahmagyani. Brahmagyani, only Brahman, boring, pure consciousness, no name, no form. Give it to those who want. Hanuman says, I don't want liberation. Give me the opportunity to be present wherever your name is taken. Rama's name and glories are chanted. I want to be there as Hanuman. Why? Because listening to the chanting of your glories and names brings me much greater joy than liberation. Yavat sthasati lokesmin tava nama kalevaram mama tishtutu rajendra varoyam me vikangshitaha. Hanuman says, why we are discussing? Because this Vishyananda Vishya Sukha is all temporary, goes away. We want something greater than that. What is greater than Vishya Sukha? Either Brahmagyana or pure devotion. For devotees, pure devotion is better than, higher than Brahmagyana. For Jnanis, Brahmagyana is enough. I am not the body mind, I am Brahman. That experience, not knowledge, but experience. Anubhava. Simply knowing is not enough theoretically. Experiencing my divine nature. So that devotion brings greater joy to devotees. So Hanuman says, as long as your name is taken anywhere in this world, yavat te nama loke sthasiti. Wherever devotees chant Rama's name, Ramnam Sankirtan, they do. Tavat mama kalevaram tishtatu. Kalevaram in this body. I want to be present as Hanuman. Why? Because chanting, listening to the chanting of your name and glory brings me greater joy, devotion. That's why when we do Ramnam Sankirtan, we keep a asana separately on the right side of Sri Rama. Hanuman will be there present. Raja Maharaj actually saw Hanuman present in Ramnam Sankirtan. So that's why we do Ramnam Sankirtan. In India, they do on Ekadashi days. We do here on 7th when convenient. Hanuman will be there. Yatra yatra raghunatha kirtanam tatra tatra kritamastakāñjalim bāshpavari paripurna lochanam marutim namata rakshasantakam. You know that one. I'm digressing, going to devotion. But coming back to Ashtavakra's teaching, giving up attachment to all sense objects as if it is poison. Vishyan Vishavatyaja. Because much higher than sensory pleasures coming from sense objects, contact, sense organ, sense object, contact, that higher than that one is Bhajanananda, joy of devotion, the joy coming from worship, devotion, chanting God's name. Higher than that is Brahmananda, knowledge of the self. Highest. There's nothing higher than that one. If you want that one, then you have to give up this attachment to sense objects. Keep them as much as necessary, minimum, and then be detached. Know that separation will come. Sooner or later, sense object will be there. I have to leave. or I'll be there. They will leave one way or other. Separation will come. Be ready for that separation. Don't be attached. If they're there, be thankful. Enjoy them. Don't shun them. Take care of them. Do your duty by all the people, family, children, husband, wife. Do your job properly. Go to work. If you have a job, go to work and do the work nicely, properly with devotion, as if it is worship, as worship. Good. But when they leave, when you're laid off, or when the family breaks, or husband wife separation comes, or children go away, be ready for that. Don't depend on them. Don't be attached to them. That was the gist of Ashtavakra's first instruction. Mukti michasi chetata vishayan vishavat tyaja. Then second line contains 5 more instructions. Kshama, Arjava, Daya, Tosha, Satyam, Piyushavad Bhaja. Okay. 5 more instructions we'll do in the next session. Those are easier. Much of them is familiar to you from Gita study. That will start in the second part. Now I shall say the closing prayer. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, may all be happy. May all be free from diseases and ill health and other problems. May all know, realize and practice what is noble, dharmic and auspicious. May no one be subject to any kind of misery. Om peace. May there be peace and joy in our hearts. Adhyatmika Shanti. May there be peace and harmony amongst all beings. Adi Bhautika Shanti, and may there be peace everywhere in nature. Adi Daivika Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. We have time for questions, or after second session we'll have questions.
Whatever you do, Maharaj. The only problem is for today, you have only 2 hours gap. This ends now.
Okay. Little bit rest. We meet at 2:30?
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Nice.
No, the question is, should we do questions now or later?
After second session. Then we'll have open-ended. After 3:30 you can go a little bit over. Still on.